Hello, everyone, and welcome to our debate on whether Christmas specials should come back or not. And joining me for this debate, we have Charlie
Hello, everyone.
and we have Jamie.
Hello, hello.
Um, First off, we're going to talk about our memories of the Doctor Who Christmas specials, like growing up and back in our childhoods and everything. So who wants to go first with their memories of Christmas specials?
I may go first. Might
Okay.
as well. All right, I've got a weird memory with like Christmas specials to begin with, because I started watching Doctor Who live in 2012. With Asylum of the Daleks, but I didn't actually watch the Snowmen live. I just didn't want to watch it because I saw the pictures and got scared. So, yeah, I didn't watch the Snowmen, but I did watch Time of the Doctor live, and then basically I just watched every Christmas special from it live until 2017 when they got rid of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I started watching Doctor Who very, very late. I first became a Whovian, I believe it was like 2017. So it really wasn't very long ago. And the first Christmas special I watched live was obviously Twice Upon a Time. And at that point, I'd only got up to series 3. So I was very confused, not having context for like 7 seasons worth. But I watched it anyway, and to be honest, I really loved Twice Upon a Time. I think it was really good. And that has been our last Christmas special, which might have been a good thing, might have been a bad thing. We'll have a see in the debate.
Yes, indeed. So as for my memories of Christmas specials, so having got into the show when it came back first in 2005, I remember, I think probably the earliest one I can remember of the Christmas specials is probably Voyage of the Damned, and I remember watching it when it first came out, and to this day I still have very fond nostalgic memories for it, even though of course it's got its problems, but yeah, I still have a lot of fond childhood nostalgia for it. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that out of the way with, so we'll get into the debate properly. So we're going to start off with Charlie, who is going to be arguing against the idea that Christmas specials should come back. So take it away, Charlie.
Okay, so I've not got many points, but my main point here is I don't know, like I do like Christmas specials, like they're quite fun to watch. It's just nice to watch Christmas Doctor Who on Christmas Day. But I don't know, I feel they they can't be very serious or like dark or scary stories, mostly because it's Christmas Day and it's all like fun and like quite a fluffy episode. Also, they're known for being not the best episodes. Like, they're always famed for being not amazing, quite bad episodes, really. Even though, that's obviously opinion, but generally that's what the consensus is. And
I thought there was only like, I thought there was only really like 2 or 3, which was generally disliked on.
Yeah, I guess. But they aren't known for being like, none of them are really perceived as very amazing, They're mediocre, maybe, Obviously it's subjective opinion, but I don't know. I feel the consensus is not the best, let's say. But I do prefer the New Year format that we've had in the past few years because, like, on Christmas, it's, like I said, it's very like light, fluffy, fun stories compared to New Year when you can do a more dark and serious one, which are the ones I prefer because, it's all like, especially in the RTD era with the Christmas episodes, you got like a spinning Christmas tree, Santas with the flames coming out of the trumpets, and then you got living snowmen, which are some of the scarier ones, but still they're quite like comical and goofy looking back on them. But with New Year, you can do more like dark and serious ones. Like obviously we're getting Eve of the Daleks. We had Resolution. We had Revolution of the Daleks. And although it wasn't really a special, it still aired on New Year's Day, that being Spyfall. So I don't know. I feel my main argument here is that you can have more serious, down-to-earth stories in a New Year special than in a Christmas special.
Yeah. So yeah, that's some good points. Like, yeah, and what you're saying about how, a lot of Christmas specials can be quite cheesy, I suppose, is one word,
Mm,
is, yeah, I would say that's definitely true for some of them, at least, anyway, in my opinion.
mm,
I think there is a sense of it being because they used to be broadcast on Christmas Day. They want people to be in the festive spirit. They want people to just relax and enjoy themselves and not, I suppose, get to like it's kind I suppose the Christmas special is ultimately just the ultimate example in some ways, in my opinion anyway, of sticking something on and then just like you can pay attention to it, sure, but if a casual viewer doesn't want to pay attention to it, it doesn't really matter as such with it, because it's just meant to be a lot of fun, I think, ultimately.
mm.
But yeah, I do also agree with the whole idea that New Year's Day specials, they've got more freedom to do what they want and to be whatever tone they want to be, whether it be dark and serious or, cheesy and very happy. They can really they've got more free reign ultimately than Christmas specials have, I suppose. Yeah. So Jamie, what would you say in response to Charlie's arguments then? Is there anything that you agree with or not agree with?
Well, I disagree that he says that most of the Christmas specials aren't very good, as I feel like,
Mm.
well, well, the consensus isn't that very good because I feel like most people like at least like most of the Christmas specials.
Mm.
But either way, I get that they're cheesy. I get that. I don't care though. Like, I love a dark story at the best of times, but I'd rather have it in the series than for a special episode. Like, if you're gonna do a dark special episode, then it should be around like a dark time, like Halloween, not the holiday season. Like, even at New Year's, I still think it's pushing it a bit, as New Year's is still usually a happy time, especially these past few years where we just want it to be New Year's already. Get rid of 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
So it's like for Christmas, most Christmas things are kind of cheesy. Like most Christmas movies are cheesy. Most Christmas TV episodes are cheesy. And I was like, I feel like it's fine for Doctor Who to be cheesy around Christmas because that's just the goal is to have people have a fun time over Christmas, and that's basically it does its job well. And well, because of it, it's just sad that there's no more Christmas specials because it's a fun thing to have around Christmas, and it's like the only decent TV Christmas special which is on aside from the Snowman every year.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, I
who,
guess.
like, would you rather watch a Doctor Who Christmas special or the Mrs. Brown's Boy Christmas specials?
Yeah, top two any day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like quite a few of the Christmas specials. Like I said, Twice Upon a Time, that's absolutely fantastic. I love that. Besides how they handled the first Doctor, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
And like even some of the others, like I can get enjoyment out of most of them, to be honest. But yeah, another argument I had was I don't know, I feel I'm way too busy on Christmas Day to watch one anyway. Like I feel like maybe not a few years ago, but now I'd be so busy on Christmas Day, maybe even Boxing Day, that I don't know. I don't think I'd even get around to watching it on until like the 27th, the 28th, and by that point, the hype's kind of died down a bit.
Really? What are you doing on Christmas Day?
I don't know, other stuff. But yeah, and I don't know. I don't feel a Christmas special would work as well now because obviously Doctor Who used to be much, much more popular, more viewed than it is now. Like they've been steadily declining the ratings since like season 4.
Yeah, but who cares about the viewing figures?
Yeah, I suppose. But back in the day, they had much better publicity and there was like a bigger generation of hype around it. Like more people knew that there was a Doctor Who Christmas special on. And like now we've had no publicity at all for either of the Daleks. And it's just been, not many people know about Doctor Who in general.
To be fair, though, I think that's just a problem with the current marketing team and most likely Chris Chibnall. I feel like if
Yeah.
RTD comes back and brings back the Christmas specials, they'll probably be marketed a lot better.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. I feel if now, like you say, with the marketing team in Chibnall and everything, if they did do a Christmas special, not many people would know about it, really.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you're busy on Christmas Day. I don't know. I feel like more people are busy on New Year's Day. Like I feel like more people have to go into work on New Year's Day than Christmas Day. I know still a lot of places are closed, but not as much as on Christmas.
Yeah, I guess. It's probably just me, but yeah.
And also, as they said in Resolution like 5 times, everyone's hungover on New Year's Day. So who's really going to be turning on the TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very good points there. Yeah, I suppose it is difficult ultimately because the show's marketing is yes, perhaps not quite the same as it was. I think that is ultimately because I think people like Rusty Davis, for example, as you mentioned, are probably like the best when it comes to knowing how to advertise the show and how to get people interested and hooked, especially the casual viewing audience, because obviously we fans will watch anything ultimately. So
except for the animated web affair.
yes, yeah,
Of course.
yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's you do raise good points. Like, are people going to be too busy on Christmas, or are they going to be more busy on New Year? I suppose ultimately that they can both be very busy times for people. But I think what I was trying to allude to earlier was I think a lot of people, when it came to the Christmas specials for Doctor Who or for anything, could still, even if they were busy like doing Christmas dinner or whatever, could still potentially stick it on in the background, as it were, and maybe like whilst, I don't know, mum and dad are cooking.
That's just made me that's just made me think of another point. Like with the New Year's specials, they the stories are a lot darker, and they're not as cheesy as the Christmas specials, but like they're a lot more. They have a lot more plot to them, which you may think is a good thing, but when it's the holiday season, you just want to pop something on. You don't really want to be thinking about all this plot-driven stuff. You just want kind of like mindless entertainment over the holidays. So, yeah, I think that's the problem. Like again with New Year's, everyone's going to be hungover, so they're not really going to be thinking of the plot, the overly complicated plot of Revolution of the Daleks. Well, compared to just a nice simple plot of, say, something like I don't know off the top of my head, the Next Doctor or something. I mean, bad example, but still.
Yeah, I do actually agree with that there. Yeah, there is a lot of plot in a New Year special, and even in some of the Christmas specials. Like, you do have to properly think about like Time of the Doctor, End of Time. Those.
To be fair, those are like end of Doctor regenerations. I feel like those ones can get away with it, but when it's just a random regeneration, when it's just a random Christmas special, I don't think they should do that.
Like Runaway Bride, Husbands of River Song, those sort of ones.
It's like you can pretty much watch them on their own, but that kind of, but
yeah. I do think it would be a good idea if, instead of doing a Christmas or a New Year special, just do a special anywhere where there's a huge drought between Doctor Who seasons, maybe.
Yeah.
Because kind of like,
honestly, I agree. I would much rather have had like an Easter special in 2019 than a New Year's one.
Yeah, same. I feel
that means you have one episode at the very start of the year, and we have to wait the entire freaking year with literally no news because the marketing team sucks just to get more information.
Like, I think it's implied that there's going to be pretty much, there's not going to be an episode, I don't think, in between the Centenary special in October 2022 and Series 14. And I don't know, Series 14 might not be until like later on in 2023. So it would be nice to have like a spring special or something in 23.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they said that like next year will kind of like, there's going to be like 3 or something specials for Jodie. So I'm assuming it's going to be Eve of the Daleks and then 2 more a la 2009. So Centenary special, then the one before like an Easter special, then maybe
Yeah.
in 2023 it's like the
Maybe-
regeneration episode in April or something. I still don't know when
Yeah.
Jodie's actually going to leave, like whether it's going to be before or
Mm.
after the 60th anniversary, but yeah.
Like, because like I don't know, I feel just like the hype and everything just dies down for Doctor Who so much in between big breaks of seasons. Like
Yes.
between series 12 and 13, like even if you look at the figures of like how well Doctor Who based videos do, they just go up every time, like within the period of time where there's a new season. And then whenever there's a sustained period of time where there's not 2 seasons, it just drops and goes up a little bit around Christmas. But at the end of the day, like, you know, no one really talks about Doctor Who at all in between seasons. So if they just did a random episode here and there when there's a big break between 2, it'd be good to just remind people that it still exists, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a very good point. You know, I think it definitely hasn't helped the show for the past few years in having so many breaks, so many long breaks in between series and everything, and especially from a marketing point, because, you know, I think this is the thing is, back in the day when you had with, let's say, the David Tennant and Matt Smith days, you had the show come back fairly regularly. I think it was every Easter or so, and you'd have a Christmas special as well, and it would, I don't know, I just feel like personally, I mean, obviously I grew up with the show having that kind of format back then, but I feel like that is a much better way of going about things than the way they do things now, which is basically to just not give us anything for a year or a year and a half or however long it is now. Yeah, as for other specials, I mean, I'd love it if they did a Halloween special, for instance,
Like a proper one, not
a
just,
proper
not
one,
just
yeah.
a minor plot point.
Yeah, that would be really nice. And yeah, there's just all sorts of specials they could do, really. I mean, it's nice that we're getting more specials with Jodie Whittaker leaving, and I'm especially happy that they're bringing the Easter special back and stuff like that. But
Yeah, especially because the last one isn't the best.
so yeah, I do think I wouldn't say needs like loads more specials, because obviously we have to be somewhat realistic here and think, well, what are they going to actually have the time to produce and everything in the right amount of time and everything. But yeah, it would be nice to kind of just have, I don't know, I mean, not too many more specials than we currently have, but I don't know, maybe if it was possible, they could do 2 specials in between each series. I mean, Jamie, how would you feel about it if they had more specials potentially?
I mean, usually, you know, series of Who are only like, you know, a year apart. So, you know, having 2 specials, it's like, it's not, you know, a big deal. But for these recent years where the series length has gotten shorter and the length between seasons has gotten longer, then yes, 2 specials is beneficial at the moment. If RTD is going back to like 13 episode series around the same time every year, then I don't think 2 specials would be necessary. But for Chibnall, yes, definitely.
And I don't know, I feel it's important that they don't like overextend themselves as well. Like, you know, like quality over quantity. We don't like, well, I mean, as you say, Jamie, if RTD does come back, we won't need as much quantity because we already have bigger seasons and less time between them. I think chances are, since TV shows do have like shorter seasons now, I don't think he will bring back the 13 episode run, considering there were quite a lot of filler episodes in his era. So he might do like 10 or maybe 11.
Oh yeah, that was hypothetical. 10 is still better than 6.
I mean, yeah, 6 was not the best, although they were longer episodes.
Like, yeah, they were longer. I mean, to be honest, if Flux had like 8 episodes, then I think it would have been a lot better because everything felt really rushed.
Yeah,
definitely.
Or even 7 episodes, just an extra episode would have been fine.
The more I think about Flux, the more I think about Flux, the more flawed it becomes. So yeah. That seems to be a problem with Chibnall. When I first watched them, I think they're great. I think about them for 1 second, and it's like, okay, yeah, this was flawed.
Yeah, I feel it's one of those things where it's great as long as you don't think about it too much.
It's like the Star Wars sequels.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they're fun switch off your brain things, but they're not.
I enjoyed all the Star Wars
Yeah.
sequels first time round, and now I hate Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it's not the best.
So yeah, moving back to like Christmas specials then. So is there anything else that you guys wanted to say to like argue either for in Jamie's case or against in Charlie's case?
It's just it's the only decent bit of Christmas. It would be the only decent bit of Christmas TV because you look at the timetables like Christmas stuff, on the BBC nowadays. They're all crap. They are all so bad. It's like having Doctor Who would be so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
I mean, I think I did have quite a few arguments for as well, but yeah, I wouldn't. I feel if they did come back, I wouldn't mind a whole lot. Like I'd be quite indifferent, really.
Mm.
I mean, I'd love it personally, just because it's just a fun thing to have at the end of the year instead of at the start of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I must say, as I do feel like towards the end during the Peter Capaldi days, I do feel like some of those Christmas specials started to like stretch the definition of a Christmas special in some way. So part of me was glad when Chris Chibnall decided to give them a rest, but I think now, to be honest, I think we could definitely do with bringing them back in some way. I'm not sure if like every year would be a good idea. Maybe every other year might be better. I mean, what do you guys think? Should it be
Honestly,
every other year?
I was actually kind of glad that admittedly, after a few duds of Christmas specials like Doctor Mysterio and stuff, just like like with so many Christmas specials, I wasn't opposed to Chris Chibnall taking a break from them, but I thought he meant just 1 year, not 3, 4, however long it's gonna be. It's like just because it just like 1 year, it's fine, it's a breath of fresh air, but then we all want it back in 2019 or 2020.
Yeah,
especially
it's actually
2020.
5 years without a Christmas special if 2022 doesn't have one.
That means we need 5 years of Christmas specials.
I mean, yeah, however long RTD stays on, chances are he's going to do them.
Yeah,
and I do generally prefer the RTD, like the style of the RTD specials, not necessarily the episodes, but just the style of them.
Yeah, like there's something I think, like they are ultimately definitely probably the cheesiest Christmas specials, but I think there's something special and almost kind of magical about them in some ways. Like they at least feel Christmassy, even if
that's the thing.
I
thought, like, the Christmas specials feel Christmassy, but to be honest, the New Year's specials don't really feel very New Year's. I mean, Resolution for its flaws, it does feel like a New Year's special because it's got like the fireworks and stuff, and I like what they did there. But Revolution of the Daleks does not feel like a New Year's special at all. It just feels like an episode which just so happened to be aired at New Year's. Like the Christmas specials are flawed. Like aside from Doctor Mysterio, they all feel like Christmas, and it just works well. Like, to be honest, I feel like Eve of the Daleks is gonna work with gonna work as a New Year's special though, because when I think of New Year's, I think of like countdown clocks and looking back on the year and stuff like that. But to be honest, with New Year's, if I want to watch shows like that, I'd watch things like the Big Fat Quiz of the Year, which I am admittedly more excited for than Eve of the Daleks.
To be fair, now we're on the topic of Eve of the Daleks, I'm actually really excited for it though.
Yeah, I mean, Groundhog Day and Doctor Who, it's about time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it'll be just a really fun one where, like, I don't know, there won't be much to it, but it'll just be really enjoyable to watch.
And we'll hopefully get more Evil Dan memes.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll actually have more Dan, because he's not going to get lost among a huge plot.
Yeah, yeah. And you never know, maybe we'll have another stand character alongside Carbonista and Jericho. I highly doubt it because them two are G's, but still. Them two are G's who never actually met. For God's sake. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Overall, I like Christmas specials. Christmas hasn't felt the same since 2017. I just miss them. All my Christmases have been bad since 2017. Although, to be fair, it wasn't the lack of Christmas specials' fault. It's more so because I kept getting bad luck with colds and COVID and stuff. But yeah.
Nice.
So Jamie kind of wrapped up his kind of thoughts there. So how would you wrap up your thoughts then, Charlie?
I don't know. I'm kind of like, obviously, for the purpose of the debate, I am going against them, even though, I don't know, I'm kind of indifferent about them. But I don't know. I feel, one part of me is definitely just, I don't really care whether there is a Christmas special or not, because I don't know, they can't be very interesting or plot heavy, really, unless it's an end of era thing like End of
To be
Time.
fair though, Chimes of Midnight is a Big Finish story, and that's a Christmas special, and it's widely regarded as one of the best Big Finish stories ever.
Yeah.
So they can definitely do a story at Christmas, as a Christmas special. We just haven't been lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think it might be different with it being an audio compared to TV? Like, do you feel like maybe the fact that
well, to be fair, Big Finish. To be fair, the story is quite dark for a for Christmas, probably because Big Finish was is like aimed for an older demographic. So Chimes of Midnight, it may not be the best example, but if they can do a good story for a Christmas special, I mean, I adore Voyage of the Damned, for instance. So I feel they can do it. It's just they don't need the cheesiness, but it's probably all the cheese is just built up and they just want an excuse to use it. So Christmas is where it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think so. Something along those lines.
Yeah, that's that's understandable.
Charlie, I interrupted. Sorry.
It's fine. But in general, I don't know. I just kind of think. Also, obviously, it is subjective opinion. I'm not a huge fan of lots of the episodes, like Return of Dr. Mysterio, Runaway Bride. I'm not huge on Donna in that one. Christmas Invasion is okay, if a bit boring. And it only really served to set up the 10th Doctor. And there are some others that I just find are a bit meh. Like, you can skip them and nothing will happen. It's just kind of... They're okay, but they're not ones that I'm desperate to rewatch or anything.
Yeah, I can understand that, like, some people do not like them. I think definitely as time went on, I think, like I was saying earlier, I think some of the later ones with Peter Capaldi did stretch the definition of what it means to actually be a Christmas special. Like you were saying earlier, Jamie, with the Return of Dr. Mysterio, that is basically not a Christmas special at all. It's just an episode that
I've got nostalgic bias to it, though.
Oh, fair enough.
Because to be honest, I didn't hate 2016, unlike other Whovians, because I was trying just getting into it, and it's pretty much when I was like I started watching in 2012, but like 2015, 2016 is when I started becoming like a proper fan. So 2016 I just sort of got into it, and Return of the Doctor Mysterio was just a nice cap off, I guess. So yeah, but that's just me, so it isn't really a valid argument.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But yeah, I do feel like some just stretched it a bit. And so therefore some of them I mean, I've always kind of, I think I did used to, when I was younger, rewatch like a lot of them in preparation for Christmas. I don't really do that as much now, but I don't know. I suppose they don't have the same rewatch like thing as normal episodes do, because with them being Christmas specials, yes, you can watch them on a day that isn't Christmas, or when you could watch them in the middle of summer, for instance, and it would be fine. But it's, I don't know, it's just, I feel like
it's like watching a Christmas movie in July.
Yeah.
you know, it's just not right to watch the Polar Express in the middle of July. Although I'm guilty of doing that as a kid, but not anymore.
Yeah, I feel
But
as you were
even then,
saying. Oh, go on, Jimmy.
I mean, this is kind of like with Christmas movies. If there's like a really good episode, it's like if you save it for Christmas, then you don't bore yourself from the episode like by watching it too much, and it's like you get excited to eventually rewatch it, kind of like how I am with Christmas movies, because I don't rewatch them any time other than Christmas, and I get excited to rewatch like the classics like After Christmas.
Yeah, I feel what you were saying about the rewatchability of the Christmas specials, Bill. Yeah, that was another one of my sort of points. They're not the most rewatchable, even if it's another Christmas. It's like they're sort of there just to sort of be a Christmas special and just say, "Look, it's Christmassy and Doctor Who," and then there's not really, there's not the element of surprise either. It's just stuff you remember from last year. I don't know. I don't feel there's much rewatch value there.
Yeah. So how would you both then? I know you kind of like alluded to wrapping things up earlier, but we'll give like a proper wrapping up now. So how would you say ultimately where you both stand? Like, how would you properly wrap things up essentially?
I miss them. Bring them back up, Russell. Bring them back, Russell.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for 1 year.
I'm more indifferent than anything. I don't feel very strongly that they shouldn't be brought back, but I'm not a huge fan of quite a few of them. I'd say I'm quite 50-50. And also, I don't know, you can't get, they can't become very, plot based really. They're just sort of light and fluffy.
Yeah. So I think we've pretty much wrapped everything up there with the debate. So if anyone wants to find both of you on social media, just quickly, where can they do that and everything?
I deleted Twitter at the start of this year, and it was the best decision I ever made. So if you want to find me, just go to my YouTube channel, Mario Bowser494.
And I am the Fifth Dimension. Also, Dimension 5 Audio, in which we have Homo Ultras with both of you two in, don't we?
I edited the trailer.
Yes,
I
you
play
did.
the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, go and check that out as well if you're listening and you haven't already.
Yep. And you can also, if you haven't already, please do go subscribe to all of our channels. And yeah, I think that's everything pretty much. So thank you both for coming on to this debate and for just joining me with it. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you both on.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. So yeah, I guess from us three, hope everyone is, well, by the time this has come out on Christmas Day, it will be Christmas. So I hope everyone is
Incidentally, a happy Christmas to all of you at home.
Exactly. That is how we'll leave things there. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on to this debate, and thank you to everyone who has listened to it. So hopefully we might do things like this potentially in the new year, but if this does well enough, but we'll see about that. So yeah, until then, see you all later.